In the days when kings ruled the lands and mighty armies clashed in distant valleys, Israel lived in fear of the Philistines. The people prayed for deliverance, hoping God would raise a hero from among them. Far to the west lay the valley of Elah, the battleground where destinies would collide. On one hill stood the army of Israel, on the opposite hill the fierce Philistines, thirsting for war. And then he stepped forward, Goliath, the giant of Gath, nearly 10 feet tall, armored in bronze, his voice shaking the earth. Every morning and evening he mocked Israel. Send me a man to fight me. Meanwhile, in the quiet hills of Bethlehem, a young shepherd named David tended his father's sheep. He was the youngest of 8 sons, unnoticed by many but seen by God. David was sent by his father to deliver food to his brothers in the battlefield. But as he arrived, Goliath roared thundered across the valley, and David's heart burned with righteous anger. Word reached King Saul about the brave shepherd boy who asked, "Who is this giant that defies the armies of the living God?" Saul looked into David's eyes and saw courage greater than any man in the camp. David stepped away from the noise of the battlefield and knelt beside a quiet stream. He chose 5 smooth stones not as weapons of war but as symbols of faith. His trust was not in the sling but in God who guided it. Alone he walked into the valley. The armies held their breaths, one shepherd boy against a giant who had never known defeat. When Goliath saw him, he laughed. "Am I a dog that you come ask me mistakes?" But David answered, "You come with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord of hosts." David reached into his pouch, set a single stone in a sling and began to swing, faster and faster until the air itself seemed to whistle. And in that bit, the stone flew. Guided by divine purpose, it struck the giant right in the forehead. The mighty warrior stumbled, his eyes wide in disbelief. Head shook as Goliath fell forward, collapsing like a toppled tower of iron. Silence swept across the valley. The impossible had happened. Israel roared with victory as the Philistines ran in fear, and David stood quietly, knowing the battle belonged not to him but to God alone. The shepherd boy became a symbol for all generations, a reminder that faith is stronger than fear.